is thinking.
I'm dedicated to it. I can't be stopped.
I hope you're having as much fun as I am. This segment of Ted Nugent's Real America Voice Sprit Campfire is brought to you by Wood Rocket, fresh cologne scent, air freshener, middle finger, a black middle finger. Boy, it's so beautiful because all the good blacks in America are so offended by the Democrat Party, who still believes they're so stupid that they will support the immorality, the insanity, the racism of the Democrat Party. Welcome back to the Ted Nugent Sprit Campfire. Yes, it is a spirit campfire. And I am cocked, locked, and ready to rock the Glock around the clock, Dr. Spock. And I have a wonderful series of guests coming up. I hope you're enjoying this spirit campfire, because I come down in the man cave, Coops and the arsenal of democracy, the absolute freedom, gnashing of teeth orgy of truth, logic, and common sense, just to communicate with my fellow human beings around the globe. Barack. And then I burp because I'm drinking delicious coffee with some Amish heavy cream. Barack. And I don't know if you watch Ted Nugent Spirit of the Wild TV on the Pursuit channel, but I'll be tracking an unsuspecting herbivore which I disconnected their pump station with a mystical flight of the arrow and preparing it to turn into family-sized portions. And out of nowhere, I'll be crawling through the pucker brush. Have you crawled through the pucker brush recently? Your life is incomplete unless you celebrate the mystical flight of the arrow, ultimately through the pump station of an unsuspecting future dinner on the hoof. But if you haven't crawled through pucker brush, you'll never keep up with my piss and vinegar spirit. So anyhow, I have Martha Bonita Fain joining me. She has orchestrated this wonderful event for President Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. I am so lucky. See, my middle finger has paid off. I've stood in defiance. I've always been suspicious of authority. I defy immoral commands and immoral laws. Well, it's the law, Ted. Well, I wouldn't arrest Rosa Parks if she sat on a bus seat. And I would arrest Lon Horiachi for killing Vicky Weaver and her son Sam because they tried to sell a shotgun that was 1/8 of an inch too short, ATF. What happened to you people? So when there's a deer flopping on the highway outside of Joliet, Illinois, and the people are standing around, what do we do on the poor deer? All 4 legs were broken. It was hit by a VW during rush hour outside of Joliet, Illinois. I hope the statute of limitations is over. Because when I drove by, I saw this deer flopping in the highway, and all these cars are pulled up. What do we do with the deer? Can we save the deer? I said, everybody back up, back up, back up. Get back. This deer's flopping in the highway. It's tortured. It's being tortured. So I pulled out a Glock Model 20 in 10 millimeter, pang, right through the cranium. And then I offered to cut the back straps for anybody that wanted some true organic meat. Then I realized everything I did was against the law. But it was against the law, but it was the right thing to do. Bad law. When they said I couldn't climb a tree in Michigan and hunt with my bow and arrow, I went, what man could possibly think he has authority over my tree climbing? So I got rid of that law. So my point being, I have Martha Bonita Fain. We have a wonderful Mar-a-Lago award ceremony with some great, great people. General Mike Flynn and his sister Mary, my wife Shemaine, my son Rocco and his new wife Belle. Toby will be there. Fleetwood and Danielle will be there. My friends John Bailey of Bailey Excavating in Michigan, Harry Smith and his wife. I'm going to have a wonderful party at Mar-a-Lago when they give me the Freedom Defender Award, which actually I defend freedom by promoting it and celebrating it nonstop for about the last 60 years. I turned 76 here a couple months ago. So Martha will be joining me, and then Jason Hartless, this soul brother, funk brother, Motor City pile driving grinder. Drum God Jason Hartless will be joining me to unleash, and celebrate that there's a new Ted Nugent vault where he went into the archives of my Michigan barn and found all these incredible recordings of the Amboy Dukes and the Ted Nugent Band and the damn Yankees and the posters and the rehearsal tapes and the live jam session. Jason Hartless will be unveiling the Ted Nugent vault with me right here on the Real America Voice. But meanwhile, I'm on Real America's Voice. I want to thank the team, everybody there, Linda, Doug, Shemaine, Rocco, Toby, everybody, all you people out there, but especially Mike Lindell. I always say this, and I'm going to say it forever, because there wouldn't be any truth, logic, and common sense if we couldn't pay for all this stuff. You should see the stuff I have. The technology outrage. It's more expensive than sporting goods. So Mike Lindell, MyPillow.com, is a supporter of truth, logic, and common sense and good over evil. That's really what Mike represents. Plus, he's an entrepreneur. He has the work ethic of a charging buffalo. Mike Lindell is like the best people in the world. He's a great white buffalo looking for a storm. He falls down, but he gets back up, puts his heart and soul into being the best that he can be. And you should support Mike Lindell at MyPillow.com. Type in the code SPIRIT and buy the slippers, buy the dog beds. I love the dog beds. Jackson and Coco and Sadie are laying on MyPillow.com dog beds right now. They're completely zonked out, but they'll probably start barking like maniacs in a minute because I got a guy coming over to change the tire on the BMW that went flat. Anyhow, the point is, MyPillow.com sponsors the Nuge, which means he's a blood brother for good over evil. MyPillow.com, type in the code SPIRIT. Also, armslist.com. These guys support the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, freedom, being the best that you can be. Go to armslist.com, America's firearms marketplace. I guess this room would qualify as America's firearms marketplace. Maybe I am the arms list daddy. Go to armslist.com. Everybody wants more guns and ammos. I got some guns here I'm going to show you in a minute. All right, a moment of silence. Are you kidding me? Can you see the beast? Look at this. Look at that Smith & Wesson Model 629. Look at that. Look at that artwork. Look at that. Would you look at that? Now, you can't get this at armslist.com, but go to armslist.com and support the people that support my big mouth for freedom, the defiance of my bumper crop of middle fingers. I got some guns here I'm going to show you. Martha will be joining me soon, and so will Jason Hartless. And also, Heaven's Harvest. Is that, I think, Heaven's Harvest? You got to have first aid kit. You got to have guns and ammo. You got to have water. You got to have a fireplace. You got to have emergency food. Self-heating meal kits. Support these people. These are great gifts for people you care about. MyPillow.com, great gifts. Armslist.com. Subscribe your buddies and your loved ones, the people you love. Armslist.com and heavensharvest.com. Type in the code TED for a discount. You should have this stuff on standby. I've got all the ingredients I need to be totally independent. Isn't that what the American dream is based on? Independence, self-sufficiency. So let's talk about guns. This is a Model 629 44 Magnum that Smith & Wesson made for me. Are you drooling like I'm drooling right now? I've never fired it. These are real ivory gifts. I imagine U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service will come knocking at my door. Knock all you want, knuckleheads. Anyhow, look at that beautiful pistol. 44 Magnum. And then I'm going to do what I did for my buddy Scott Young. They had a girls' gun day. I would recommend, if you're going to get into the firearms enjoyment, which you should, unarmed and helpless is a tragic suicidal mistake. Get yourself a revolver like the amazing Colt Python. Look at my Colt Python. Get a revolver. Learn how the mechanics feel in your hands. Become one. Open it and close it. Cock it. Make sure it's empty. Always make sure it's empty. I'm not pointing it towards anything I'm not willing to destroy. I'm willing to destroy this camera. Anyhow, make sure it's empty and fondle that gun. Dry fire it at home. Single action and double. I've got a beautiful Python, Colt Python. Beautiful trigger. But gals and newcomers, if you're not going to practice at least every week with a semi-auto, you can do the same thing with the semi-auto. I carry a Glock 10 millimeter. Also, I've got to show you the Cimarron arm. This is a 10 millimeter cowboy gun. Look at this. Is that beautiful? Now, that cylinder doesn't come out, but if you put it on half cock, you can spin the cylinder to load it and empty it with the brass ejector. But this is a 10 millimeter cowboy gun. Thank you, Cimarron Arms. It's so accurate out to 100 yards, shooting Remington core lock, 200 grain deadliest mushroom in the woods. So get yourself a pistol and dry fire it at home all the time. Make sure it's empty. Make sure it's empty. Would that be awesome if Uncle Ted had a negligent discharge live on the air? This is a single action only. You have to cock it, and the trigger performs one action, dropping the hammer. Oh, is that a beautiful trigger? I bet it's like 2 pounds. So single action, you have to cock it. Double action, you can cock it for the most accurate time accuracy, but you can also double action where the trigger cocks it and fires it. Cocks and fire, double action. Shoot lightweight 38 special ammo. Wear your eyes and ears. Always wear ear and eye protection. I would use cowboy loads. They're ultra lightweight and recoil. Very, very little noise, very little recoil, and you get comfortable. But then use proper semi-jacketed hollow points in either 38 Special plus P or 357 Magnum if your revolver is set up for that. It's manufactured for that. So I hope you're having a good time. If you're unarmed and helpless, you're unarmed and helpless. And even though Donald Trump is going to stop the engineered recidivism and get rid of the horrible gangsters that the Democrat Party love, the Democrat Party loves the rapists and murderers and child sex traffickers that have snuck. They haven't snuck. They've just invaded through our border. The Democrat Party loves them more than they love American citizens. You know it's true, and it's heartbreaking. We'll be right back with Martha Bonita Fain from Mar-a-Lago in just a minute.